hubby. Hey buddies, good morning and welcome to another early morning Sunday show. The opening, that was a Centennial Park in Chicago at the Bean. It was a very kind of cold day when we were there, so there wasn't a lot of tourists yet. That was a nice thing. There wasn't a lot of tourists like us because it was cold. The bad thing was it was cold, so it was kind of miserable. But neat spot. If you've never been there, it's free, except parking costs you like a ton of money, but otherwise it's kind of free. So very, very neat. And hey, bud, what's up? All right, cat's in. It's raining again. I keep hearing this, that there's like drought happening. I keep hearing like there's really normally hot weather. All I can tell you is it's raining again. It's cold again. It's just nuts. And speaking of rain, anniversary time. Happy anniversary. Anniversary of 2 years since the flood. So, hey, rain, flood, we're still here. And with the 2-year anniversary, again, my thanks to all of you for helping me after the flood. And getting record collecting back going again in a humongously big way. So big thank you for all of that. Really, really meant a lot. Yeah, thanks. Gosh darn, it seemed like I had something I wanted to say. And I don't know, I'm just saying, there we go. Here is the host with the most. Yes, it is Cat. Please spell it with a K. All right, yeah, meow, exactly. We're gonna settle in. It's raining, so now the host is back. First thing, you go down there, wanted to go out. It's 3:30 in the morning today. I got up, just could. Oh my God, I think I got an hour's sleep. Today's episode's going to be a train wreck, I think. But, and regretfully, I have some French words, so we know what's going to happen. But raining, so Cat decided he would come in and be a part of you. So we're settling in, his butt slowly going down on the t-shirt. Yeah, for God's sakes, come on. Can you hear him? He's purring like a motorboat. All right, let's begin with the first record, because I don't know, I had something to say and it's all gone. We're gonna start with this. This was a VCLT, and by, see that? The channel Concert Buddies, and that is Chance. He has stickers, man. I don't have stickers. That's kind of cool. His wife makes those, or girlfriend, or girlfriend. One of those, but makes those. Isn't that neat? That is really, really cool. And Concert Buddy, he is a newer channel. I am still under 100 subs. We talked earlier in the year, and he talked about doing this, and I gave him some thoughts on kind of my thoughts about it. And he launched his channel, and I watched it all, and it's been excellent. I really, really like it, and I lots of enthusiasm. You can see this guy really, really loves music, and so take a look at it. His last one, he talked about the uptick in vinyl prices. And he really did a phenomenally good job really going through the economics of it, why, this was going to happen, what makes sense about it, but also what does not make sense. It was a really good pros and cons of the whole thing. And he did probably one of the best explanations I've ever heard. Being a former, majoring in economics, hey, right, I like the economic aspects of it. So really, really did a good job. So please check out Concert Buddies. And that kind of reminds, so this whole vinyl price increase. Yes, I'm coming back to the record. Oh, wow. That's a kind of something, huh? Some of it's our fault. Supply and demand. We're demanding it. They're going to supply it, but how much can we get for it? And here's what I really would kind of, you can see this coming when you think about it. We'll come back to that. Think about one-step MoFis. When the one-step MoFi first came out, here's an album we're going to charge $125 for. And when the first ones came out, people were, who's going to pay $125 for this album? Who's going to do that? And so they make like 1,000 and sells out. People go on YouTube, oh my God, it's the greatest sounding thing you've ever heard. You got to have this greatest sounding thing you ever heard. Next one step comes out, let's make 2,000, sells out. This is the greatest sounding album you've ever heard. This is the greatest sounding album you've ever heard. I got some of them. And so they keep making more and more, and they keep selling out. Now, if you're sitting on the board there and these keep selling out, how much? How much can we get? How much can we sell? Supply and demand. There's such a demand for this, but we don't have enough supply. So now let's think about this. Michael Jackson's Thriller. We're going to make that into a one-step. Going to be over 100. Lord knows what that might go for now, this vinyl jacket. Let's make 40,000 copies in an album for over $100, 40,000 copies. If you had said something like that a couple years ago, I just are you insane? Who's going to do that? Who's going to pay that for Thriller? I mean, yeah, sure, it's the greatest sounding record of all time, but that much? Well, guess what? It'll probably sell out. I mean, that's nuts. But supply and demand. But with that comes everybody, you know what? How much will they pay for a record? Yes, vinyl prices, it does deal with oil. I get that. But it also comes down to, if you're an executive, how much will they pay for a record? Right now, we can't keep up with demand. We can't keep up with demand. So let's raise the price up some because people are willing to pay more. They'll pay more for it. And so far it has. And now, you go to the record store, it's not uncommon. It's you're going to pluck down $30 for a new album. And it's going to get worse. So, oh well. It's just economics. What are you going to do? Here's the thing. When oil prices go down, will the price of vinyl albums go down? Or will this just be the new norm? So I was in a record store this week over in Port Huron, Michigan. I had visited there. Oh God, Jeff, what's the name? Oh, I don't remember. But he had a lot more CDs. He was expanding to CDs. He was out there going to thrift stores, whatever, finding CDs, buying used CDs. He goes, listen, this is where the demand's starting to happen. Vinyl record prices are getting higher and higher, and people are buying CDs. This is what they're coming in for. And he had expanded tremendously into CDs because it was a lot more expensive. I can get a CD for $5, or I can get that used album for $20. And so his clientele was going that way. And it will happen. You're going to jack up the price. You're going to increase the demand on something else. How many of you are buying more CDs? I don't have room. I don't want to go into a whole other room in my house and And so again, this is a small room, and it's to limit myself. But yeah, it's happened. All right, so hey, man, I'm sorry that really went long, and I didn't know what I was going to say. But let's get into this. So this is from Chance, Concert Buddies, and he sent me this beautiful MoFi. One wonderful note on here. I appreciate that so very much. Obviously, it's right in here, Chance. And the record album, okay, it's MoFi. This album's The Broadsword by Jethro Tull. Huge Tull fan. I bought this when it came out back there in 1982. And this was the album that came after Stormwatch. It had been a couple years since he had put out an album, and out came this album. There are some very hard rocking songs on here that were Martin Barre. Martin Barre was a very good guitarist, and he just really comes out. There is some of that 80s production. The synth was happening, when A came out, the album A, they really began putting synth in there, and you could feel it more happening within this album. But there was these hard charging songs. What we got here? Slow Marching Band is a kind of a quiet ballad. Broadsword and Pussy Willow have that folk aspect that Tull was so much was really known for, and so it kind of starts off very folky, but then it hits hard. It comes back at you, and really hard stuff. This is really, it was a really good album. I always loved this album very much. A couple songs a little too 80s on there now. They haven't held the touch. Oh, for God, I told you this is a train wreck, man. My brain's just a fog. They have not held the test of time, but other ones just are amazingly good and fun stuff, and really like this album. Extremely generous to send me this MoFi, so thank you, Chance. Concert Buddies, please check out that channel. Great channel. Then we had the group R.E.M. I adore this group. Gosh darn this, they make beautiful music, I think. It came with a thing. What do we got here? I should probably put it on my wall, huh? That's pretty neat. This came out, this is 20, what do they call it? 20 years it's called, 20 years. And it is their greatest hits. Different albums there. Came out in 2016, and really it's the last album they've produced, though they haven't really officially broken up. They're still out there. They're from Versailles, formed in 95. Nicholas Gordon, Gordon, maybe that's how, I don't know. He was studying architecture in college, and the other one was John Benoit Duchel. Wow. He was studying mathematics. So here we got an architect and mathematics. Put an architect and mathematics in a room. What do you get? You get air. Yeah, scientific equation. Oh man, they've made such beautiful music. They had been in a group called Orange, but then they decided to do this group as a duo. And think about what they did, how influential they were with electronics and synthesizer, dance type music. Their albums, Moon Safari, The Virgin Suicides, Talkie Walkie. Incredible, the hits that have come out. So, obviously, greatest hits on here. You got Cherry Blossom Girl, Sexy Boy. I mean, they wrote that about me. I was so cool. Moon Fever's on here. Alone in Kyoto. Oh, gosh, darn, from the soundtrack, Lost in Translation. It's incredible. And there's some stuff that has French words on there, so let's not bother. I totally love this group. It's hard to get their stuff. What's been repressed, most of it's too expensive. But if you have the greatest hits, what more can you ask for on there? 2-album set of their greatest hits from the group R.E.M. Nothing super special there. Thick vinyl. Just incredibly good. I'm so happy to have that. Then over in we were in France, let's go to the UK. How about this? The Deviants. And look, there's even a sticker for demonstration use only. And I found this at a store down in Detroit. There we go. And there's sleeves. And it is on. That has a nice original inner sleeve there. London Sire Records. Very cool. Just love these sleeves when we can look at all the record albums that we know we want to have. There's one with a circus clown. Creepy. So the Deviants, out of UK, formed in 66, broke up in 69, kind of psych, garage, freak beat, all of that would describe it. Nick Farron was the main songwriter. Basically, it was him and then a revolving group of musicians. Twink, the drummer Twink, even played for the Deviants, and eventually when he left the Deviants, he took a couple of the players and they formed Pink Fairies. So Disposable is the second album. This came out in 1968. And it is, how kind of these guys have been playing in the underground, the UFO stuff like that, very much an underground band, but they had this hard hitting, pounding drums is what you hear on here. But then there's some other ones where there's some spoken word, which, you know, I don't need the spoken word stuff unless you're a poet. I didn't think they were really poets. The fuzzy guitars on here are incredible. I mean, when they really want to rock and get psych, they really, really do a good job. And sometimes it gets this folky whimsical crap that I don't go for. There is you get, what is it? Blind Joe McChurch's Last Seven. That one's pretty good. You've got to hold on. You've got to hold on. Man alive, there is just screaming guitar in that thing. Just so good. Very 60s vibe on this. Pretty cool. I had never seen a Deviants album out there. I can't say I've ever looked, and it just happened to be there and go, what's that? Let's give that a shot. So pretty cool. Psych, freak beat, garage rock kind of stuff. This Meters album, so bought this. This is the Meters. This is called Trick Bag. It came out, and when did this sucker come out? I don't think. Hold on. It came out in. I mean, it was the late 70s. Obviously. Gosh darn. I don't know. I can't remember, and now I'm not seeing the date on here. I don't think you really give a crap, do you? You're going to survive. It is late 70s, and the reason why I say that is the very first song. The very first song is called "Disco Is the Thing Today." Okay, that should be a warning. That should just disco is the thing today. That should just say. Think about this before you buy this. Think about this. That baby is a disco thumper. You know, it's a kind of let's get out on the dance floor and start doing it. Now, I like disco. I wasn't, but it wasn't like I want the meters doing disco. I'm thinking more of the funk. And there is some funk in here. You do have some good songs that are more the meters, but there's some very slick ballads on here also. So it's kind of, again, you have, they do a version of Honky Tonk Woman. Their version of Honky Tonk Woman, it's gritty and it's funky, pure fun, absolute fun. Doodle Loop was another one. I believe Doodle Loop, The Wonder is a little bit. It is, again, full of funky grooves. Great songs. But then you have some of that disco-y, boom, 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 boom. And some of the ballads are just, so mixed bag on this. When they funk well. But otherwise, so, yeah, okay. How about R.E.M's first album, first full album? You know, obviously they had Chronic, which was the first EP. This is Murmur. This is the IRS, an original. Out of Athens, formed in 80, broke up in 2011. R.E.M. is pioneers of alt rock. They're just one of the pioneers. They really got it started down there. He started off as a punk group. When Michael Stipe went in to buy records, he went to a record store where not Barry, God dang it. Oh, freaking, yeah, where Barry and Stipe was. And so they met at the record store and they found they had a mutual attraction to Velvet Underground. Oh, another group from the Velvet Underground. But also they liked Television, Patti Smith. So they had just some different groups that they really liked. They started as a punk band. And they were thinking, sure, what should we call ourselves? And they called it, how about Can of Piss? Didn't go. Negro Eyes. Thank God that one didn't go. Twisted Kites. It's a little better, but settled for R.E.M., Rapid Eye Movement. As a punk band, they began hearing what was going on in the Athens scene. Jerry Ayer, Pylon, B-52s, and they liked it, and they began to change their sound. Now, they weren't from necessarily Athens. They were kind of outsiders. Oh, dude, those are the records, man. Yeah. Don't. No, come on. Thank you. All right, cat's done. He's tired. We went too long. But, they kind of changed. They were considered outsiders. A lot of people did not like R.E.M. there. But, great stuff. This, of course, has Radio Free Europe. This started it for them. You just have those beautiful, jangly guitars, the melodic bass lines, and then the cryptic lyrics. Very nice to have. I like R.E.M.
Thank you.
Shelly Manne, Bill Evans, Monty Budwig, Empathy. This came out in 1962. Shelly Manne, born in New York actually, but he moved to the West Coast in 1950 and became really known as part of that West Coast swing out there. He married a rockette. Her name was Flip. So I guess her name was Flip Man. Flip Man? That's kind of fun to say. Stayed married for 41 years. Good job, Shelly. This is nice. Good album. West Coast, kind of a bop type feel. Bill Evans, his piano playing is incredibly good on here. Monty Budwig, he came from Pender, Nebraska. Pender, Nebraska. Pender, Nebraska is just a tiny, tiny little town, but they have a bass player. And I hope if I go to Pender, Nebraska, I see a statue of Buddy there. Some of the songs on here are very good. I really, really liked. And then a few, you know, like the Washington Twist with A Song in My Heart, I loved. They played Danny Boy. I don't care how you put Danny Boy out. I'm not going to like it. I am a no Danny Boy fly zone. Then Goodbye is another kind of ballad. So each side begins with a real fast beat, then goes into a ballad, and then the next one kind of a mid-tempo. So just great group on there. Fun to hear. Good stuff. And final one. This is Albert King. This came out in 1969. King of the Blues Guitar. I love Albert King. This is just a compilation of his 45s from stacks. That's all it is, which is kind of interesting because Born Under a Bad Sign, one of his most famous albums, that came out, I believe, in 67, was a compilation of his 45s. And there's some of those great Atlantic, because by now Atlantic was distributing stacks. And so, once again, it's like a compilation. In fact, 5 of the songs from Born Under a Bad Sign are on here. But it's great stuff. This is like contemporary blues. You think, when I hear Robert Cray, I kind of think back to some Albert King. You know, he was the Velvet Bulldozer because he had that smooth voice. He was one huge guy, and he drove a bulldozer. For sure. So the Velvet Bulldozer, or as they go, he looks like the owner of the local Carvel franchise, a big prosperous man of 45, 6 foot, 250 pounds. He's a country blues man of the space age who does his roaming from suburban house in Lovejoy, Illinois in a white Cadillac and his guitar picking on a specially rigged Gibson Flying V built like a jet. Yes, that's what they wrote. Cool. Albert King. Fun stuff from Albert King. There we go. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you dropping by, as always. Yeah, better go buy some records because the prices are getting jacked up. So there's a run. And you know what happens when that happens? Everyone buys toilet paper. No matter what. They're going to go buy toilet paper, then records, because that's what we do. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.